back, my delinquents.
Hello, Del.
VTuber Mean Girls. Design tailor.
Two mean girls.
Is it critique or bully? This new story making the rounds. The question that has been posed before.
I saw this actually.
Just looking for an opportunity.
I saw this on Twitter. So essentially, what happened is that, they you know how a lot of VTubers do on their stream is they go on Twitter. They go on Twitter and say, "Hey, show us like your artwork of your model, and we'll give you we'll rate it pretty much." So there's one of these VTubers sent in the model, and it's a very unique model, and essentially the girl goes like, "Man, this." Literally said that, "Oh man, this thing looks like shit." Like it not really giving much of critiques. It was full on, not full on like things that can make it help. Not really like critiquing. Was more like shit on, and a lot of people were really mad. Got really pissy over it because it was kind of mean, to be honest. As one. Also, this is why I don't do these sort of things anymore. Into these sort of things anymore, because I don't give a shit if people like my model or not. And I'm like half PNG, half freaking webcam now. Only reason I'm doing PNG today is because I didn't want to turn the webcam on because I'm lazy.
Question keeps coming up repeatedly as tier lists, smash or pasts, or VTuber design critiques are just sticking around or becoming more popular. So before we get into they've
been doing that for ages though.
The story that started this conversation.
The smash and pass and freaking critique.
Okay, to start off this story, we have a post by a VTuber Meow Meow or Nia Baby Meow, where they post a clip of a VTuber duo, or they're just friends. One was a guest star on a subathon, I think. They say that the VTubers were very harsh and were humiliating them, so I'll read this out. I feel humiliated by this. I sent my design in expecting to be critiqued with respect. Nowhere in the original post did it say I would be humiliated in front of all your viewers without so much as constructive criticism. So we have this clip here, and at the time, most
that's kind of shit. That's kind of shit though, bro. Well, look at the model. Was that look at your model? Like the model again? It's been a while since I looked at it. It's quite unique. It's got like a dragon's tail, like little wings. It's a pretty cool looking model. I think it's very unique. I like unique models. I think there's not a lot of unique VTuber models anymore. And I feel like because everybody's sort of done everything now. So I think
VTuber.
What?
Vegetable VTuber.
Give us a vegetable VTuber. Give us freaking I think people just don't do outside the box. To be fair, the reason why I changed I changed to a night bear because nobody's done the night and the bear style, and so I don't know. I just kind of like I kind of like RP, I kind of like D&D and RPG. That was sort of the whole thing I did. But yeah.
Design and expecting to be critiqued with respect. Nowhere in the original post did it say I would be humiliated in front of all your viewers.
I think it's very unique. I don't know why would there be.
So
if it's not their thing, then fair enough. It's not their thing. If they don't like the model, this is why I say you sent your picture in to be critiqued. So unfortunately, I haven't actually watched the clip, but I want to see what they say in the clip. But the thing is, if you're there to be your model's there to be judged, unfortunately. Alright. So they can say they fucking hate it or they don't like it. Alright. It's one of those things. as it's literally a VTuber popularity contest at that stage.
And at the time, most of the people seem positive to Meow Meow's response here to it, but I'll be breaking down the idea of critique and everything like that. Before we go into who's right or wrong, let's look at the clip.
What's next? Detour. What's next? Detour. What? Detour.
B?
D.
Oh.
Like, don't put 5 designs together in one model. What are you doing?
Oh, okay. That's not critiquing. That's a shit on. Okay. Now I can say it. So they literally said they put 5 different models together. I'm like, yeah, but you used to have fucking generic tits out, cat girl looking fucking models. I mean, their model is so much more unique than what your guys' models are. I'm sorry. I mean, if you could have just said it looks cool, but it's not my thing. It's not my sort of thing. That would have been so much better than what you said. Like, you got 5 different models in one. Detail. Like, wow. Okay.
My brother was knocking on my door and he would not leave. Oh my god, it's way too much.
I want you to read the instruction.
Huh?
I want you to read the instruction.
Okay, that's enough. I'm ready.
But where's the critique? All you've done is go, oh, yuck. Like, there's no critique there. Okay, I can see where she's coming from. Like, at least give her some feedback or something. Like, he was like, ugh, gross, icky, me no likey. Like, bro.
That's enough. Okay. Anyway. What's next?
Future.
That is the clip of their criticism.
I'm sorry,
that
that was super cunty.
List that I was sure later. Apparently, it was like 150 people, still on for 6 hours. So them being quick on the critique is not really the problem here. The problem is, I would say, the later half of their comments here, especially about their introduction, which I think they think is cringe, but that has nothing really to do with the design, because it's a design critique. You're supposed to look at the design. I would say they mainly looked at the second post, which is the character layout. So you have the pieces in an upright position, from what I can see. So the tails. So they're critiquing where everything is on the page, so you can see it, like for design. It's not always showing. So a little miscommunication.
Well, that's what most people send in, is they like all design and like the bits and pieces that add on to the model. As I said, I don't have that because I'm a motherfucking PNG, but you know, yeah, I'm just a 2D boy, but
They're not looking into it, I guess, or because they were glossing over it. Is it fair to say it's over-designed? Yeah, that's opinion based. Too many designs.
that is his opinion.
It's cringe, and just not looking into it is kind of rude. And I would say their critique was on the rude side, and they were coming off a bit meaner.
They were
at the very least.
No, they're cunty. It was a cunty. Their critique was cunty. All right, like they didn't even critique it. They said, "Ooh, ick, gross. So too many designs in one. Ooh, icky, go away." Like, I'm sorry, but they're just being a bunch of cunts. They're just being a bunch of cunts. I'm sorry.
Here, they have apologized, so I wouldn't say put any hate onto this. But I think seeing their apologize, it's fine. Some people pointed out that the people critiquing are just using basic free to use models, so it's interesting they're doing a tier list. But I would say if you're doing a tier
And being harassed on custom models.
list from a non-artistic background, you should say, this is my personal opinion. And just, my taste.
So they don't. So the models so are you saying the models that these two are using are not even like the free to use models that you can add shit onto? If that's the case, then you have no right to critique somebody's VTube design if you don't even have your own VTuber. That is a fucking joke if you're using free to use model. And there's nothing wrong using free to use models. I used a free to use model for the longest time when I started. Mackie would know because I used to use the freaking face rig model. Because Mackie remember the put it in my ass club. And Mackie being quiet. Lol.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that was a long time. But I've used a freaking face rig for the long when I started. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that seems hypocritical, but when they're using free to use models, very hypocritical.
My personal taste. I do have the original post this was submitted to, though we can have a look at that, at the wording there, and I do think the wording is important, and we'll go into that. I do think critiquing is a skill. If you're actually going to take a serious approach on critiquing, it is a skill. And not everyone has it. And
Yeah.
critiquing doesn't just mean being a bitch. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
It is actually constructive criticism is the best approach. And the greatest critic knows that even their critique is mostly an opinion. There are some facts. But
Yeah.
especially if you're not coming from an artistic standpoint, I wouldn't go the I'm that bitch approach, because your opinions aren't really backed out by anything substantial. It's literally just, this is my opinion and I think I have a good one.
Yeah.
I would say, but that's me on the hard side as an artist, I would say. But I would say my one thing is here, if you put in your design to be critiqued, you should be emotionally prepared for a critique. So some parts of it, like being over-designed, is a critique. It is, I would say.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, Del. As in, you should be ready to, like, if you send your model on to be critiqued, I mean, expect to be critiqued. And yes, they said that the model was a bit over designed, but the way they said it was such in a cunty way. Like, I know. I mean, I feel like wording should be. I mean, if they worded it they needed to word it so much different how they did, because it came out such in a real cunty way. It's so ridiculous, super cunty how they did it, in my opinion. But again, it doesn't mean it. I mean, critique is a critiques. I mean, you get good critiques and you get bad critiques. Like, only good critique I ever got was from Victoria, and she said she liked my model. I'm like, yay, and that's about it.
Say it's a bit over designed, and I would remove or toggle. But to be fair, I need to see the model a bit in action of what's toggleable, what isn't.
Yeah.
I would say that's also a preference. If you like it over designed, that's your preference. If you're looking for something statistically what will do well, or what's artistically beautiful, you may actually go to an artist and ask them for, how do I incorporate this into my design without it being over designed, or something like that. That's totally fair, but you need to be ready to be able to take on a critique if you submit it. So I would, if you're submitting things to critiques or tier lists, definitely have a little research on who you're submitting it to, so you can kind of expect what you're going to get. And I would agree, some people have said their design is cool. I think there are some cool aspects to their design. Do I still think it is a little bit overdone? Yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming, but I would say mainly in the pick there, I think it's less overwhelming.
But again, well, I don't see a problem with the model, to be honest. I mean, I got nothing against people critiquing other people's models. That's fine, because if you sent in, you're there to be critiqued. But saying is a bit over. I mean, I feel like the model is really unique. I feel like the uniqueness is very clear. I mean, let's be honest. The two girls are reacting. The models are not very unique. I mean, they're going to be very good designs, but they're saying they're not very unique. And you know, I mean, I feel like, especially in the whole VTube game sort of thing, you need to have some sort of need to get pointed out in the crowd. I mean, it's one of those things you gotta like, because people use the same concepts over and over again. I mean, everybody's like, there's so many cat girl VTubers out there, so many bunny girl VTubers out there. Like, I mean, it's just oversaturated. I mean, there's lots of bear VTubers now. Like, the oversaturation of like of uniqueness is sort of not really super unique. VTube models is kind of crazy. But look, I wouldn't even think my VTuber is that unique, to be honest. It's really just a bear and a bear. Is just a bear model with a not as a knight. It's not super unique, but you know, I'm okay with that. All right, because I'm a PNG tuber, so I don't really care anymore. But yeah, we'll continue.
When you see it in action, from what I've seen. So we're going to go on to the original post where they submitted this to. So we can see what they were submitting to and what they would have generally expected, and so I can give you like a breakdown of these tier lists. But I do see a lot these tier lists and these smash or passes used generally just to tear someone down. So here we go. This was the original announcement by Sierra, who is one of the girls who did the smash or pass. I'll be joined by lovely Yokana VT on Friday, May 25th, and judging your designs. If you want to be submitted for judgment, drop your PNG below. So this is the thing I will point out here that I don't know if everyone read here. They said judgment, not critique. I don't know if they were selling this as a critique. Judgment is less professional, definitely. So I would keep that in mind if it's actual critique. So remember, wording is important on these things, guys, and definitely look at what you're submitting to.
Judging. No, they didn't say critiquing. They said judging. Okay. That, I mean, I'm not justifying what they said, but judging means, judging, that means they mean they're gonna be is like they're not just gonna be critiquing it, they're gonna like really going on it. Okay, I can see what you mean by wording. Yeah, I can see that.
Do not blindly submit to just anything, especially if you're a little concerned about your stuff. Definitely not blaming the person for being upset here, but definitely there's different levels of professionalism in these things. You cannot expect an artistic level critique from some random. Yeah. And I would definitely say that if you don't know how someone critiques, I would expect from the lightest to the most brutal of responses. Definitely. Especially if you don't know these people or how they act. I do think they could have been more constructive in their criticisms, and I do think they were kind of like mean about it, definitely, and I do understand the person being upset. When you submit your stuff to critiques, judgments, or tier list, you have to be aware that some people might not like what you're sending them. So keep that in mind. Not say justifying how they said anything, I would keep that in mind, that critiques are usually harsh. The original, hi, I'm all pretty Princess Zodiac.
Yeah. As a critiques, if people like the critiques are going to be like not always positive or not, and surely not always negative either. I mean, like any sort of critiques would be like, it should be constructive criticism. So like say, oh, I would have done this than what you did there. Like the thing is, they didn't really do any critiques. They all they did was sort of shit on the model. Alright, I mean, as someone who's tries to be brutally honest, sometimes you gotta say, okay, you like if you're doing this sort of thing, like a review of somebody's model, you break down all the good things and all the bad things about the model and what stuff they could do better. You know, I feel like then the shitting on somebody's not cool, in my opinion.
Yak 99 Kitty God. Current verse 2.9 Whip Uwu. I drew both of myself. Yeah, it's Uwu speak, not everyone likes that. Here is also a different one, which is a bit more simplified of the ones they were showing on there, where it's simplified and in parts. Because
I actually kind of like the. I'm not gonna lie. I actually quite like the. I quite like the drawing in the model. That actually looks. That artwork actually looks really sick. It's really. I actually really cute. I like the. I really like it. It's definitely very unique, to be honest. I mean, yes, it's still taking a Catgirl model, but like, there's so many cool things going on. It's actually really cool. I actually genuinely think it's really cool.
there is different versions of this, and you could definitely.
Also, I'm biased because I love two. I love two different color eyes. I've always been a big fan of like the two different eye colors. To be honest,
Really critique different parts of this if you wanted to. This is the one they were focused on, which
ooh, I really like that though. You know, I like the big, like the little little claws. I like the little. I mean, I'm not sure. Is it a tail? I'm not sure if there's a dragon tail or like a maybe like a tentacle sort of thing. I'm not exactly sure. I can see there was one there. I mean, to be honest, this is very unique, like crazy unique. I really like it. I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. I mean, it's not a model you see. I feel like this is very unique, and I feel like. I mean, I don't think this is very overdone. To be honest, I feel like they're saying this is a bit over the top. It's a bit harsh. I think. Only thing I would say is this part, there's the tail part here. It's like flatter. It's like very straight. Maybe fix that part up a bit. But other than that, nothing wrong. There's really nothing wrong with it, the model at all. This tail part, this little tail thing here. They should do the same thing with what they've done with this one. It's like curled it up, and I had a little curl butt there, and curled up over there. I think that would make it a little bit cooler. But aside from that, I think the model looks really good. I think it's a very unique model, to be honest. Very unique.
This is the newer one. I don't know if this is the original, and I don't think it's unfair to say it is.
So I would say this would be like a 2.0 model. So the one in the first one was like the OG model. This is like a 2.0 model. To be honest, it's very good. I think both models are very good.
Over design, that is fine. But there is, as someone points out in here, there is a difference between critique and roasting. A roast, you just say negatives. A critique, you give constructive feedback on how to fix the negatives.
They'll roast the shit
or
over.
What's positive.
To
So
be
you have to
honest.
give positives and negatives. Positive. Love the pink design. I love the claws. I love the idea of the wings here. It's very interesting. The eyes and the hair, very unique. I love that. I also love this kind of like kawaii Lolita mixed with the dark eyeball like mystique in this with the clothing.
It's very cool.
So you say positive. Negative, I would say around the face is a bit over designed right now, but I looked at the meaning and I know.
Yo, Mackie, oh my god, Mackie pulled a 5-star. And Nikkei. No way you got that chick.
You good?
I mean, she's got a Pacific skin. That's and wait, you got Mary without the bunny girl skin?
Nope.
Were you pulling on the
tutorial banner?
You got the Senate. Well, I mean, I don't know. I never have her, but she's got a. You didn't pull on the Prem banner.
No, I pulled on.
If you go to the gold rush event, you get it in the thing. You get a free 10 pull, and the daily rewards.
They have in-depth
Sorry,
meaning to them.
back
I would
to
say
video.
that the focal point is really heavy there.
Alright, the power of editing.
Removing the headdress would really help that. Honestly, that's how I would portray a critique, is to mention the things you like and some of the things you dislike. That is a proper critique. If you only point out the negatives, I personally would just call it a roast. Again, that is why I would say critiquing is a skill. I'm not automatically saying it's a skill I have. Personally, I find the cheat code to give some okay received critique when someone asks for it is to mention positive and negatives. The sandwich.
Well, that's what a critique. You give some positive and you give a little bit of negatives, and I would say give some constructive criticism. So like, I would change this and maybe do this. That's what the whole thing is about. Is giving your thoughts on the model, then giving them some like constructive criticism. I mean, this is what you do. This is what I would think you would do when you're doing these sort of videos and these sort of like things on Twitter, and for a stream thing, you would do that, because it's not. I mean, because I remember me and Sage did one, and it was like, and we were very, very like, well, I mean, we were just happy that people actually even took the time to actually even give us their model designs, to be honest. But it was actually really good, to be honest. But yeah,
Anyway,
you gotta get productive criticism.
It's the same with education with children. You get positive with a little bit of negative. And I wouldn't say I'm particularly fantastic at it, but I feel like that's the best way I can do it without like overly thinking into it. I would say it's justifiable to be upset when this was portrayed as something very casual, and then you get roasted.
Yeah.
A little bit of a point in here, even though she vehemently didn't like it in the stream, that she is like making some lip service here, that it's unique and beautiful, and I'm failing on my bias to get in my way of properly critiquing your design. I am truly sorry. It's a little, I have to apologize,
which I don't know. I can't read people's minds. You can't like assume people's intentions a lot of the time. So I would just say, have a look at these things and judge for yourself. That's all you can really do. You can't automatically assume.
Well, what I would say to Serena, the girl's obviously live streaming with a critique with a friend. The friend poo-poos it before you even got a word in, and then you just sort of said, "Oh yeah, you're right." Thing is, you didn't really give yourself your own. You didn't really give your own take. The first thing your friend sees it and goes, "Dita, ick," and like, then you go, "Oh yeah, you're right. It's not. It's a bit over the top." Like you just agreed with your friend about actually giving your own take. And if you have somebody on who has a different, that you don't have to agree with their take. I mean, you can have your own take to the model. To be honest, like you didn't really to me it felt like, oh yeah, you're right. We'll just say it's ick and move on. Like you didn't really make your own critique. Like. As soon as your friend goes Dita, and like you didn't even like put your own critique into it. So and it just comes out a little bit cunty, in my opinion. It does come out a little bit cunty.
What they're thinking here. Now on to the discussion portion of this. So I'm going to be discussing here the idea of, are these tools used for bullying more than anything? I would say no, I don't think so. These tools are similar to most tools that are like critiquing in any sense.
I'm in this video here because just the discussion on it, but the thing is, I do it. I mean, I feel like when you do like a VTuber smash or pass or review model reviews, I mean, I think you should be prepared to be critiqued and critique harshly. All right, like sometimes you're not gonna get a good critique. You're not gonna get a good critique. You're not gonna get a bad. You might get a good critique. You might get a bad critique. I mean, what I would say is, I'd hope they would be like have constructive criticism for you as well. Like, I don't like this, but you could if you there's a way that if you do it like this, I think it'd be look but nicer. All right. Also, research the people you are dropping your like stuff to, because if they like super cunty, I wouldn't drop it. All right. I was want to say, get to know the people you're giving your shit to, But anyway, please give Del some love. Good video, and yeah, that is the video, and